Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 1,700,321. Kind of feels like that, but it's really not. It's actually only episode 133. If you're watching on YouTube, I do apologize. I'm just realizing my floating plant is not floating. I also have a mustache, so two things that might make people upset. With that being said, welcome back to another week of the podcast. And this last weekend, I actually just got back home today from a little road trip down to Toronto, or Toronto, or Toronto, however you want to say it. Went down south this weekend because yesterday I went to see Dashboard Confessional and the Goo Goo Dolls. Yes, that's right, the Goo Goo Dolls, the 90s band that still has it. Can confirm. They still got it. It was really, really well done. It was just insanely hot down in Toronto. It was an outside stadium type venue, and it was very, very warm. So sweating while sitting down was on the menu yesterday. With that being said, it was a great time. But I wanted to talk about quickly during this episode of the newest game to come out, which has not been fully released. It was just a beta, but it kind of took all first-person shooters and I want to say military shooter folks, Call of Duty folks, and all that kind of stuff by storm. The Battlefield 6 beta was released on Thursday for early access, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday. And I believe that it was it until the 13th and 14th of this month, just in a few days, where the beta comes back. But this Battlefield 6 beta was released. I got to play some of it, and wow, it's a very cinematic game. Now, most people are trying out to go out there and say that Battlefield 6 is going to ruin COD and going to make COD make changes, all this kind of stuff. I highly disagree. I think Battlefield 6 is its own type of military shooter type FPS game. I think it's really based off of a lot more realism in terms of one, having giant maps and vehicles that make sense in terms of how they function and the usability of said vehicles like jets and boats. And although there was no boats in the beta, but there were in previous versions of Battlefield, so maybe those come back. But the tanks and the helicopters, the jets, and all that kind of stuff. Battlefield 2042 came out a little while ago, and it was kind of a flop. A lot of bugs, a lot of issues. This beta, for me, anyways, had very little bugs. The only bug really was the fact that there was a visual thing sometimes, but it didn't happen often. I could count on one hand how many times it happened on my screen, and then it went away quickly. And the game was smooth. Getting into games did not take long. There was a long queue to get in the servers, but it was very, I say long, but I mean a massive amount of people waiting to play, but it only took you a few minutes to get into the game and get into your matches. So it was very well done, and I think it surprised a lot of people. I think it hit a massive amount of players. I think the highest was at one time, I think I saw somewhere saying something about 500,000 players on Steam. So that doesn't even really grasp the vast amount of people playing on console not long not long after its release. So there's that, but it's also the fact that this game was just so fun. It's the sniping feels good, the sounds are great, the explosions are massive. They reworked the demolition of the buildings and of the surroundings. You can now shoot or a noob tube or a grenade or a rocket at a vehicle that's just parked there, and the whole vehicle will destroy itself and just blow up in pieces, and the cover's gone. You can do that with buildings, and you can do that by using grenades, grenade launchers, rockets, whatever you want, and the building will destroy itself, and the cover's blown. It felt really good. The shooting was really fun. It's a really fun thing that you can't just slide around like Call of Duty, in terms of Warzone and Call of Duty multiplayer, where you're just sliding and running and canceling and all these things that don't really make it feel very realistic. In Warzone is like that. In Call of Duty Black Ops, you can do that as well. But with Battlefield 6, you jump around and your gun sharts. No, your gun does not shart. It starts shooting. Very, very bad choice of words there, but it starts shooting all over the place. If you start shooting, your aim is all over. You have to very much so reduce the recoil by controlling it, but also putting attachments on it. There were some people saying like, oh yeah, use these attachments already. Day two, there was already the best loadouts, like always, and people just trying to get clicks for it. But at the end of the day, it was just a really fun game, and you could play with 4 people on your squad. And there's different types of game modes. The beta actually had multiple types of game modes. I believe it had 3 different maps, 2 smaller ones and 1 larger one. So I mean, for a beta, I think it was really cool. I don't think it needs to kill COD. I don't think it needs to take over. I think it's just going to be its own thing. Now they are talking about bringing a battle royale to the video game, to Battlefield, which someone said back in the day they tried a BR and it didn't really work. But I'm not sure about this one. I really hope that a BR doesn't ruin Battlefield, because Battlefield is a conquest. It's a breakthrough game. It's I don't know. It's more of a tactical squad type shooter multiplayer. The campaign, I hope, is really fun, but I don't know if a battle royale will make it or break it, or even just do anything with the game. It might be fun, it might not be, but I feel like in the world of replayability, I feel like people think that battle royales are needed, but I don't know. I hope that they don't just become this battle royale focused type game, because I think it's just fun to get on the game. You can play a 45-minute conquest game and be there for a long time and get one match in, but play so many different roles, so many different weapons, so many different vehicles, so many different ways of playing. I think it's really cool that way. So I'm hoping that they don't screw it up with that. But anyway, so the beta came out and it was really fun, and we played it. And like I said, there's a couple more days of the beta, so I might test it out again. And the full release of Battlefield 6 comes out October 10th, I believe. Now, it is an expensive game. It's a AAA title. It's going to be very expensive. They do have, I forget what the anti-cheat is called, but I did have to go into the BIOS and enable secure boot in order to play the game. So there's a lot of talk about how there's going to be less cheaters, less hackers. There's talks of some people cheating already, but I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works. At the end of the day, I don't think I ran into any cheaters. I don't think I had any issues with any hackers when I was playing. Did I die very quickly sometimes? Yes. Does that mean there's hackers? No, it just means I'm not that great at the video game. And that's something that I'm trying to accept, okay? But yes, it did come out and it was fun. So I'm looking forward to it. If you haven't played it, I suggest you play it. It's an open beta right now. You don't even have to buy the game or pre-purchase the game in any way. You just have to download the beta, and on PC, on Steam, I think it was about 33, 35 gigabytes, I want to say. So it's not even big to play the beta, which is really cool, because we all know if there was a beta for Call of Duty, that it would be 150 gigabytes just for 3 maps, 2 guns, and 1 grenade. So on that note, I hope you have fun if you play it. And if you have, let me know in the comments on YouTube what you think of Battlefield 6. Do you think it's going to be a COD killer? Does it need to be? What's the BR going to be like? And what are your thoughts on this last weekend's beta action? With that being said, we'll catch you next time. As always, cheers.